The following is a Just Green production brought to you by the Might Be News Network.
What's up, everybody? It's the week of June 10th, 2019. My name is Taylor Cooper. This is Might Be Sports. With me, as always, Kevin, co-host Kev. Co-host Kev is on Might Be Sports, everybody. Oh, my God. What up, co-host Kev?
What up?
What up, CJ?
I think you sent the wrong text message out to the wrong Kev.
Andrew DeCecco's with us. What up?
Yo, man, what up?
So, Kevin Reavy is in New Orleans right now, and this show is coming out on his birthday, I believe. Is that correct?
I think so.
Jackie alerted me that it's his birthday when this show comes out. So, happy birthday, Kevin Reavy. Enjoy your time in New Orleans, and never leave the state without telling me again.
Yeah, run
so
by
if you're
me
on
next
Bourbon
time.
Street, production runs a golf cart that drives people around for tips only. So find production.
There you go. Some nice advice from CJ. So I want to start the show, obviously, by acknowledging the fact that co-host Kev is here instead of Kevin Reavy, which kind of sucks a little bit. Not because you're here, but because you're here and Kevin Reavy isn't here as well.
Dude, I'm thinking that I'm going to come to a different show.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get as much shit,
Right.
but
No,
without a doubt.
You're not hearing me correctly, Kev. I'm saying that I wish that Kevin Reavy was here as well, because I would love for you
The
guys
Kevin's to debate Puck.
Yes, because eventually in this show, co-host Kev is going to give us extensive Stanley Cup playoff.
Dude, all
coverage.
dude, my standing on it is, I mean, you can like what you like and not like what you like, but his points are not valid. That's all I have to say.
I agree.
He said it takes too long to get through the playoffs. NBA playoffs are still going on. Am I wrong?
You're not wrong.
He said over half of the teams make the playoffs. How many teams make the playoffs in the NBA?
I'm siding with Kevin here. If I had to pick between baseball and hockey, I'm taking hockey.
You think so?
Yeah.
One thing I can say is
Andrew, you have to specify which Kevin.
That's the point.
Because I didn't know where this was going.
So
Baseball is too long, man.
it is. It's too long. It's too much. But one good thing about baseball, though, is that it's on all the time. So like it's a good nothing on TV. The Phillies are on, or whoever, But like there's only so many days that I could really do that and like invest the time to watch it. You know what I mean? Otherwise, it's just background noise. I like baseball as background noise. So I actually enjoy listening to baseball on the radio.
Even when I go to the games, I end up like walking around, drinking, talking to people.
I don't even watch the game.
Nah,
I don't even watch the
care
game.
less.
I'd be one of those people who gets smashed in the face with a foul ball because I'm just looking at my phone the whole time.
Because there's no nets.
There's no nets. Bring the nets out. Bring the nets out. I've had a change of heart. They got to go all the way up the line. They just do. Not around the outfield. Not around the outfield. Kevin Reavy. See, when I talk shit on co-host Kev when he's not at the show, I just imagine him driving around just swerving into people. Kevin Reavy is just going to be a hammered mess in New Orleans tomorrow. Like, you can't bring the nets out. You can't bring the nets out. It's going to ruin baseball.
You're going to text tomorrow about that.
I'm just ruining his birthday every second that this show is on. So
like he already cannot go out until he listens to the show to see what you say. And now you're just going to completely mess up his day.
They got to bring the nets all the way out.
No, because he's going to be watching baseball tomorrow wherever he's at and be like, no, see, that wouldn't have worked if the Nets were all the way out there. Taylor doesn't know where the fuck he's talking about.
Yeah, he's going to get arrested in the French Quarter.
It ruins the game. You can't see the game anymore. Well, it's okay because most people are probably watching the game on their phone.
That gives you the best angle, though.
Oh, it's too funny. But no, Kev, I agree with you on hockey being, obviously, it's a legitimate sport. I mean, a lot of people watch it.
There's no argument there on that.
I think the problem is that the ratings have never been as good as the other major sports. And that's where I think that it comes into it. And I don't know. One glaring example of what makes hockey great, and I don't know this guy's name, but I'm pretty sure he plays for Boston, and he's playing right now with a broken jaw.
Oh,
Zdeno Chara. Zdeno Chara.
he got his jaw wired and went right back out there.
Back out there. Now, you don't see that
In baseball.
in any sport, really.
No.
I mean,
Anquan Bolden's the only player I could think of. He broke his jaw, and I think he finished the game or something, or he played the next week.
well, and you see players, Alshon Jeffrey played the majority of a season with, like, what was it?
Torn rotator cuff.
rotator cuff and stuff.
Yeah.
So, like, players in sports play hurt, but typically they do not.
I am a diehard Philadelphia Flyers fan, and I'm going to bring this up. Pittsburgh Penguins, Chris Letang, had a fucking stroke on the bench. And he came back later that season to play.
See, that's crazy.
That's
crazy.
Stroke.
Had a fucking stroke. I don't know, man. But I haven't watched a single second of the NHL playoffs this year, and
You're a garbage human being.
I feel like I usually do, but this year I was just totally uninterested.
It's because of the teams. I'm not as interested in it as I have been in the past. Like last year, I watched every game all the way up to the finals because I'm kind of a Caps fan as well. But the Blues and the Bruins, who fucking cares? I just don't want Boston to have another fucking championship in another sport. I'm fucking sick of it.
I agree with that. Do you? This would be the Blues' first one, though.
First
right?
one,
and it's Game 7 is,
and that's why I don't want the Blues to win either.
Well, let's start with the NHL then, since we're already on the topic.
Okay.
How has it been? I mean, have you watched every game that, like, obviously you haven't watched every game, but do you watch it every
Yeah, I
night?
watched it last night.
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched it last night.
I'm
They
talking
got
about the
spanked,
entire
5-1.
The entire playoffs. Like, are you pretty invested in the NHL playoffs, even without the Flyers in it?
Mas o menos.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah. Who was your favorite going into this playoff?
Going into the playoffs, since the Flyers weren't in it, was the Caps, and then they got eliminated the first round.
And so did the Penguins as
Penguins got
Really, you want
swept.
Caps?
Yeah. I'm a Capitals fan after the Flyers. I mean, Ovechkin. He is the greatest player of our generation. But
well. Really?
yeah,
You
in
feel
my
that way?
opinion, I don't think Crosby's any better. What do you have to say about it?
I don't.
Those two teams don't go together.
Yeah, no, you're arguing a Washington team and a
Right.
Pittsburgh team,
Right. And that'd be like you liking the Steelers. And
No, I don't
and
like the
Redskins.
Penguins. I don't.
Oh,
like
you
the
don't
Penguins.
like the Penguins.
I
He
hate
likes
the
the
Penguins.
Flyers, and you're saying you like the Caps.
Well, that's
The
even
Cap-
worse.
the
That'd be like you liking
It's
the Eagles and
interdivision.
the Redskins.
The
Yeah, it's
Phillies and
interdivision, but
and the Redskins.
but I'm going to root
Eagles
for
and the
somebody I
Redskins.
like.
but the only reason you like the Caps
Is because of Alexander Ovechkin.
Ovechkin.
Yeah.
Okay. I can dig it. Also, they're just ultimately better than the Flyers have been in the past, 10 years, you would say?
Yes.
For sure.
Yes.
More entertaining to watch.
Wow, negative
No.
over there.
No.
Listen, I'm critical of the Flyers. I think that they need to clean house. I mean,
Dude, they just got the rights to Kevin Hayes. So I mean dude, you're looking at a number 2 center taking the draw. You got Sean Couturier as number 1C, and then you're gonna have Kevin Hayes as number 2C. Nolan Patrick's gonna move down to number 3, which is a shame because he was picked up 2 seasons ago as the number 2 draft pick in the NHL, and he's gonna be a number 3C.
were you mad that they traded Wayne Simmons?
Yes, but it was his time.
Do you think that Claude Giroux is good?
He's good,
That's where we
but
disagree. That's where we disagree.
you don't think he's good?
I think he's
Dude,
garbage.
2 seasons ago, he had over 100 points
What's
in
that mean?
82 games.
What's that? I don't even know what that means.
How do you not?
Did they make the playoffs?
It was either a goal or an assist.
Did they make the playoffs?
No.
Garbage.
No, actually, they had a record that year for the first team to have a 10-game win streak and not make the playoffs.
Wow.
That was a
Garbage.
record they set.
That's garbage. That's garbage. Now, listen, I like the Flyers. They're my favorite NHL team. But point blank period, they haven't been relevant in a long time. And it frustrates me a lot. Jackie and I have gone down to a few games in the past couple of years, and it's always a blast. Like I love going to watch hockey games. Like it's a really good time. But it's hard to watch when they suck so bad. It was like the Sixers and the trust the process time. Like I wasn't watching the Sixers.
Those tickets were like $1.
Dude, I didn't give a shit. Like,
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Really?
Dude, you could bring 2 boxes of mac and cheese in there and they'd give you a ticket. No doubt. Straight up. Straight up. They had like food drive nights. Just bring a fucking cheeseburger in here and we'll give you a ticket.
So
I swear to God.
I would get let's
That's
I
funny.
think enough times passed where I can't get in trouble for this. So
Uh-oh.
the beer companies would give tickets out. Like they had massive amounts of tickets to both Flyers and Sixers games. So I learned if you go in the Cadillac Grill and you just act like you're supposed to be there and you just keep walking, no one asks your ticket. And now the beer reps give it out electronically. So I would make friends with someone hustling tickets on the outside. You'd be like, we'll give you blah, blah, blah for these tickets. I'll be, give me half that. And if I get through without them scanning it, I will send the tickets to you.
Wow. Dude, they didn't give a
You
shit.
con artist.
For real.
Hey,
But
you
like-
know what? I do the same thing.
Oh, the Sixers
I
were
would.
garbage for a long time.
I
and-
turned $0 into something.
Yeah.
But the difference is, for me personally, is that I'm an NBA fan. Like Sixers are my number one squad, but I like the NBA. I like watching basketball. And so it doesn't really, to me, matter who's on. There's teams I don't like, and there's teams that I do like, and there's certainly players that I hate and players that I really love. I don't have that same connection to the NHL. And this being might be sports, I do feel like sometimes that we shortchange the hockey fans out there that do listen to the show. But at the end of the day, I don't really care because I just
You're not passionate
I'm
about
just
it.
not passionate about it. But Kev, how entertaining on a scale of 1 to 10 has the NHL Finals been, in your opinion?
It's hard to say. I mean, you got games where the Blues are winning and they're doing well, and then you got games where they get blown out 5-1. I mean, how fun is a game to watch that's 5-1 when you're
Right.
talking hockey? I mean,
Yeah.
it all depends on the night and how they bring it. And I just don't want to see Boston win another championship.
Who do you got in Game 7? Where is Game 7? Is it in Boston?
Yeah, it's in Boston.
Do you think St. Louis can pull it out?
I don't know. With the way that Rask was playing in goal last night, he looked like a fucking brick wall. He looked like a fucking brick wall.
Now, to clarify, that's St. Louis's goalie.
No.
Okay.
Boston's goal.
Well, that sounds great.
Jesus Christ, why am I here?
He walked into an ambush.
Yeah.
Because I'm placing bets on Sugar House right now.
We need your expert analysis, Kev, because we're placing bets and we need to know.
I would bet on Boston, but I want Blues to win.
Yeah.
You want me to be straight up honest about it?
I do want you to be straight up honest with me about it because that's what friends do. Okay. So I probably will watch Game 7.
It's Game 7.
When
I
is
mean,
it? It's
tomorrow.
So it's Wednesday night.
Tomorrow night.
Okay. Yeah, I might watch that. I probably won't, but I might. But speaking of also finals, let's get away from hockey because I just don't know what else to talk about with it. But the NBA finals obviously still going on. The Warriors won by 1 point in Game 5 to bring it back to the Bay Area for one more game. This will be the final game played in Oracle Arena. And I watched most of Game 5. My thing with this shit is it's just on way too late. You should not be starting games during the week at 9 o'clock. It's just, that's bullshit. I fell asleep somewhere middle of the third, late third, I think. And
It should be 8 o'clock.
It should be 8 o'clock, no doubt. Because then it'd be over by 10, 11 at the latest.
But then 3 hours, so that would be 5 o'clock.
Yeah, people are
California.
just getting
It's
off
doable.
work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People, you got to give them a little bit of leeway.
8:30.
5:30.
8:30. Make it 8:30.
Yeah, 8:30 could work.
Yeah. 8:45 max.
Because Taylor said so.
Yeah, God damn it. The big storyline for Game 5 is Kevin Durant came back, and he looked great in the first quarter. I was so hyped to see Kevin Durant back. A couple episodes ago on this show, and when Reavy comes back, I want to talk to him about it. How did we get it so wrong? Like, I feel like nobody saw that Toronto was going to come out and take a 3-1 series lead over the Warriors.
I think that 7-game series really brought that team together. You saw Game 7 and Siakam looked like he didn't want the ball against the Sixers, and he started taking over games 1 and 2. Yeah. And Kyle Lowry stepped up, and you got who else? Ibaka stepped up. So I mean, they're starting to play as a team, and it kind of reminds me of that Eagles 2017 team.
They're definitely underdogs.
Yeah,
I mean, they're definitely underdogs. I was really excited for Kevin Durant to come back. Number one, Kevin Durant's one of my favorite players in the league. I love watching him play, no matter who he's playing for at this point. A lot of people don't want the Warriors to get a three-peat because they're just tired of seeing them there and this and that, whatever else. But they clearly worked every team that they needed to get through to get where they are.
Yeah, they deserve to be
They've
there.
earned everything that they've got. But the debate right now is how much worse off are the Warriors without Kevin Durant? And you can kind of see how much worse they were without him going into the series and losing the first couple games and just not looking like the team to beat, basically. And so I was really, really hyped for Kevin Durant to come back. And then in the second quarter, it looks like, they still haven't confirmed it to my knowledge, it looks like he might have tore his Achilles.
And I always thought that it was an Achilles injury.
They did?
Yeah.
Did they?
Yeah, the GM, it's...
They said it was an Achilles injury, but they didn't say if he tore it or ruptured it or...
The GM was crying
I saw
like
that.
a little girl.
Yeah, I saw that.
About it.
I never bought the calf injury. I never thought it was a calf injury.
Yeah.
The way that it looks, guys that had torn their Achilles in the NFL were like, yeah, that was an Achilles injury.
See, and a lot of people are upset that Kevin Durant was on the floor last night. And I wasn't at the time because I just thought, okay, well, his calf injury is better. It's all good, everybody. Kevin Durant's fine. And then you see the injury happen. You see it in slow-mo. You see his entire leg shake in one motion.
Mm-hmm.
And it was non-contact, no nothing. He was just kind of teeing up to kind of cross somebody and getting his footing. And as soon as he planted that right foot,
it just gave.
Just do-do-do. And you saw it immediately. He got rid of the ball and went right down to the ground. And then the next disturbing thing happened. The city of Toronto, those motherfuckers in that stadium started waving bye-bye to Kevin Durant and cheering that he was hurt. I want, starting now, for Toronto to get the Philly treatment for the next 50 years. 50 years.
And how ironic is it that Kyle Lowry, who's a Philadelphia native, was the guy that was telling
everybody
crowd,
stop.
Like, yeah, chill.
Yep. Kevin Durant yelling out into the crowd, like they had to bleep him out at commercial break because he was walking into the locker room and he was yelling at people. You got Klay Thompson all mad, Steph Curry all mad, and look what it did to them. They came out in the second half and just smashed people.
They were
just dropping threes, left and right. But it almost still wasn't good enough.
It almost wasn't.
Have the Raptors ever won?
No. This would be their first time. Yeah.
But
this is their first time in the finals right now.
Warriors have the most comebacks from a 3-1 being down and out.
Right. They're also the only team in the NBA finals to ever lose after being up 3-1.
Yes.
Because the Cavs came back with LeBron and beat them after being down 3-1.
Kyle Lowry played so well in the third, and you started to think that he was going to turn the corner, and then he had that last shot, and it went off the side of the backboard.
Yep.
I mean, you if you make that, or if it's, you could have given it to Danny Green or somebody that had a better shot, and they win a championship, most likely.
Yeah. Kawhi didn't look like himself last night.
Nah.
Or the other night when this episode comes out. The Golden State kind of had an answer for Kawhi in Game 5, and I'm interested to see if they can find that answer in Game 6. I would like to see this go 7 games.
I feel like it's going to now. I think they left the door open, and a veteran team like Golden State's going to kind of capitalize on something like that.
Not to mention they're playing with the passion now behind this Kevin Durant injury. They've got added intensity that you could see. You could clearly see that intensity in the second half of last night, at the other night's game, Game 5.
Did you see Boogie Cousins? He started going off.
He was going off. See, I love Cousins. I love Boogie Cousins. I wish that he would kind of calm down sometimes, like Draymond Green has this year in the playoffs. He's not quite as in your face and freaking out all the time.
He's one technical foul away from being suspended for a game, though. Draymond.
Right now he is, because he did get one last night in the beginning of the game. I don't know, man. I want to see it go 7 games right now. I'd like to see Golden State win the last game in Oracle for sure, even if they don't win the championship. But one thing I was saying last night is, realistically speaking, I want the Golden State Warriors to win because A, I hate Drake. B, because the Raptors beat the Sixers. But I don't really care who wins. But as long as Toronto didn't win Game 5, because after they cheered for Kevin Durant getting hurt, in my opinion, those fans didn't deserve a championship in Game 5.
That's not what you do.
I don't want to see that crowd get that championship and be there for it. Game 7, fine. Jurassic Park, everybody freaking out. Oh yeah, that'd be awesome. Whatever. But as long as those motherfuckers that were cheering for Kevin Durant getting hurt aren't in the stadium, I'm fine. I'm fine with it. That made me so mad. It made me so mad. And I'm watching ESPN and stuff after work today, and they're like, "Yeah, they turned it around really fast. You know, they calmed down a little bit." No.
Don't let them off the hook like that.
They did it.
You're not going to sit here and say that about Philly if we did that.
They're still talking about the snowball incident with Santa Claus.
You're not going to
60s.
If you're not going to let Philadelphia get away with it,
true.
I'm not letting fucking Toronto get away with it.
Come on, they're Canadian.
Fuck them.
They don't lock their doors.
Yo, they were even cheering out in Jurassic Park. They were cheering out there. They were waving bye to him. They're in the street. They're not even in the arena. The whole city can go to hell. That's how I feel.
Yeah, fuck them.
That's how I feel. If you're listening right now in Toronto, I don't mean you. I mean the people
the person
next to you.
Yeah,
the person next to you that doesn't listen to this show, they can go to hell.
And you can tell them.
Go to hell, I don't know, man. It rubbed me the wrong way because, like I said, Kevin Durant is one of my favorite players in the league. A lot of people gave him shit for going to the Warriors. Why?
You really think he's the greatest player of all time?
Not of all time.
No.
What did you say before this show started?
In the world, right
greatest
now.
player in the world right now.
Right now playing. I would put Kevin Durant in the top 2.
Then I put Kawhi in there.
Yeah, I would say
it's an
Kawhi.
Interesting matchup.
Yeah.
It would have been. It would have been an interesting matchup.
It's Kawhi and Kevin Durant are the 2 best players in the world right now, currently. LeBron was 3 years ago.
He definitely kind of tailed off as he got older.
Yeah, and
how old is he now? Do you think?
I want to say like 34.
Yeah,
maybe?
he's like
35,
our age.
up there.
Yeah, he's like our age.
Yeah, he's a couple years older.
Yeah, I think so. But Rajon Rondo came out and said something about LeBron as far as all the Anthony Davis trade rumors and stuff. He was talking about how a lot of these young players basically worship LeBron all the way through high school, college, whatever. That's their favorite player, blah, blah, blah. They end up on the Lakers. LeBron then ends up on the Lakers. The next thing you know, he's trying to trade everybody away for Anthony Davis. And all these players, Rondo kind of compared it to, he was just like, it's like if your mom or your coach or somebody just didn't want you. And
your mom didn't want you.
I mean, like, whatever. Like,
yeah, I saw that. It's an interesting analogy.
It is. It is.
A little drastic. But.
A little drastic. But, like, I read it, and I was just like, he's totally right, though. I mean, I couldn't imagine being like, yo, LeBron James is my favorite player. I'm like 10, right? And then 8 years later, I'm in the NBA and I miraculously end up on LeBron James's team. And all of a sudden, ESPN's reporting that this douche wants to trade me for somebody with a unibrow. I'm mad. Automatically mad.
Oh, yeah.
Automatically mad.
But you got to figure that's why he's been on so many different teams. He can't coexist with players.
No,
like
he can't.
He's all about going to one team and then he wants to get rid of it and do it his way.
Right. They got rid of Luke Walton. They got rid of the coach. Magic left.
Everybody, he's like the GM.
Everybody.
Then LeBron needs to be a GM. He doesn't need to be a player.
Right.
He will be.
He needs to be a GM.
He will be in a few years. I don't have any doubt about that. Unless, of course, he just straight up buys a team.
I could see that too.
He definitely could do that. I don't know which team. It'd be interesting to find out. But then he could just build super teams every year. That's you know what I mean? Like that's his thing. He wants to be on a super team, and that's the way he's made it work ever since he left Cleveland the first time. The decision.
All I have to say is I feel like the whole Magic thing had a lot to do with LeBron. And LeBron is no Magic.
No. And see, the problem with all that is that like he wanted Tyronn Lue to come in and be the coach. That didn't work out. They've got a coach that LeBron didn't want. And it's possible that he just leaves after all this.
LeBron wants a coach that he can tell him what to do.
Yep.
He wants to dictate what he does. He doesn't want somebody that's going to give him pushback.
Right.
Well, I think this is the downfall of because he thinks so. Magic is in charge of was in charge of all this, and now you're telling me you're better than Magic Johnson. Is what you're telling me is because you do not agree with what he's doing in his role in the front office.
I mean, you look at it, and there's a whole lot of free agents out there that he's been in contact with. I think Vegas has the odds of them. They're still heavy favorites to get Anthony Davis this offseason. But I'm hoping that free agents like Jimmy Butler and even Kyrie don't go out there. I just don't want the Lakers to be the Lakers like they used to be. I don't hate the Lakers. I'm not a LeBron fan. As a player, as a guy, great. He does great things for his community. He's a great dude overall.
Yeah, I'm not a LeBron fan.
Just a lot of LeBron fan in the NBA.
But he's going to help the Toon Squad, though.
Who's going to be on the Toon Squad? They haven't even. That's the thing too. He can't even get players for his fucking imaginary team. He can't. None of them want to be there.
He can't coexist with anybody.
No, not even that. It's just who wants
what
to be.
What are you talking about that they don't want to be there?
Space Jam 2.
Yeah, I understand where you're going. Yeah.
He can't get players to be in Space Jam 2.
They're fucking drawn in. What do you mean?
No.
No, how the first one where Michael Jordan actually went out and had all those other players, when the
Barkley,
the monsters, the Monstars, not the Toon Squad.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. So LeBron can't get anyone to join that movie.
Wow.
Who he's producing it himself, I believe. Like his production group is in charge of all this
bunch of the costs.
Of course,
because Warner Brothers did not
directed,
really
and
want to
produced
do
by
it.
LeBron James.
Well, because I've been saying it for years. Everybody's like, "Oh, he's better than Michael Jordan." He never saved the universe from the Monstars. LeBron didn't, and now he's going to.
And it's not working well for him right now.
It makes me sick. Because that was just the one stupid, obvious joke thing that I could always hold over LeBron fans' heads. Like, well, he never played basketball with fucking Bugs Bunny, so fuck that guy.
Well, he still hasn't done it.
He still hasn't done it. But see, I think the thing is that LeBron needs to retire, and then I think people would be down to do it. Because then he's not in the league. He's not the star. He's not whatever. But like you look at it, and it's just like, I just get a bad vibe from him as a player, PR wise. Like just how he is, the way he conducts himself, and certainly the way that he does business NBA wise.
I have a big problem with that. I mean, there's something that rubs me the wrong way about, hey, come to my team. And then the second he wants it done his way, he stabs him in the back. And he's like, I want to get somebody else.
Yep.
I mean,
yep.
That's not how you do it. That's not how you build relationships in anywhere,
Right.
in anything.
And I'm hoping that, like I said before, somebody like Jimmy Butler sees that and is like, nah, I'm good on that. I'm good on that.
Because how long before he turns on Jimmy Butler?
Right. Because it's not like Jimmy Butler is a Kyrie Irving. No disrespect to Jimmy Butler, but like I just don't see Jimmy Butler being the guy that LeBron James is looking for.
And they're also going to clash.
Yes. Oh yeah. Not like because of the work ethic, but just because of personalities.
Yeah,
Like,
Jimmy Butler's not going to stand for that.
No, I just don't see it. I don't see it. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk more about some NFL stuff. We got Carson Wentz contract extension. We want to know what's going on with Malcolm Jenkins. And the team has been selected for Hard Knocks. We're going to talk about it when we come back.
So you've been listening to the Might Be News Network, but you still can't get enough each week? Become our patron on Patreon. Head to patreon.com/MBN Network to become a patron and get exclusive content now. For as little as $5 per month, you'll get access to extended episodes of all your favorite shows, as well as perks including MBN merch and monthly giveaways. Just want to support the network? Become a patron for as much or as little as you'd like. Patreon.com/MBN Network. 2 hours of bonus content each week guaranteed. Your contributions will help make the Might Be News Network bigger and better than ever before. Patreon.com/MBN Network.
Welcome back to Might Be Sports with me, co-host Kev. What up, Kev?
What up?
CJ and Andrew. What up, guys?
How's it going?
So, we still got a bunch to talk about here. We got Carson Wentz, Eagles quarterback, just signed a massive extension. Andrew, why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Okay, so there's a couple reasons why that deal worked out so well for the Eagles and for Carson. So he signed a 4-year extension, which is worth $128 million. 66 of it is like part of his signing bonus. And you look at it and
$66 million for a signing bonus?
yeah.
Holy fucking shit.
So and in his new deal, he got $107 million guaranteed. That's guaranteed. So that makes him the highest paid player in NFL history.
Yep.
Puts him right above Russell Wilson. I think Russell Wilson got 107. He got 107.9. So the Eagles just threw a little bit extra to make him the highest paid. But so you look at down the line here, and Dak Prescott and Jared Goff and Wentz, they all came from the same draft class. So they're going to have to start getting paid. And why not do it now? You know, if he's having the year that everybody thinks he's going to have, which is an MVP caliber season, it's only going to go up. And, you know, I'm sure they would have liked to see Dak and Jared Goff get paid first and kind of set the bar a little bit. But, you know, I guess they felt the time was now to do right by Carson. And you look at it, and Wentz is making $8.5 million this year. Now, I say 8.5, but that's not a big number for a quarterback of his caliber. And then next year, he makes $22.8 million.
Oh, my God.
So those 2 years, the numbers are there where they can front load some of his money, some of his $66 million guaranteed. You can easily do, it's feasible that they can do $5 to $7 million to add to each of the years, so that you can spread it out over that time and not be, you know, kind of hamstrung for 6 years. Because his new deal won't start until 2021.
Right.
So doing that, you enable the team to be able to sign, you know, some of your players like a Derek Barnett or a Sidney Jones and free agents, you know, without being hamstrung with that immense contract.
Right.
So, I mean, I think that's a great deal, and they have $20 million under this of cap right now. So you could added, like I said, a $5 to $7 million this year and next year, and you would still have $14 million if you do the 7 to do the Malcolm Jenkins deal, which
needs to get done.
Yeah,
because that was my next point. Is that Malcolm Jenkins just recently said that he feels like he's outplayed his contract, which I agree with. I don't know the details of his contract, but he's a clear-cut leader on and off the field. And he's got a lot of things done for the team, also got a lot of things done for the league. But being the face of the Players Coalition and so. What do you think is going to happen with Malcolm Jenkins? Do you think that the Eagles are going to make the same mistake that they made with Brian Dawkins?
I don't. I feel like there may have been an agreement in place where it's like, hey, as a sign of good faith, show up for mandatory minicamp. We'll take care of you. But, if you're the Eagles, if, you let him stay home and he doesn't show up and then you pay him, it looks like you lost that war. Just from a perspective of, from an outsider's perspective, like the Eagles can't lose their leverage. So they said, come here, we'll take care of you, and they're going to end up doing right by Malcolm. And, I think that it'll probably get done probably before training camp, I would think.
Do you think that Jared Goff and or Dak Prescott will get a bigger contract than Wentz?
I do. I didn't think that Wentz would get a bigger contract than Russell Wilson, who's a Super Bowl winning quarterback.
Right.
So every year it always keeps going up.
Right.
And as much as we like to, as much disdain as there is for Dak Prescott, he's not a bad quarterback. He's okay. He's not great.
Right.
I'm not a fan. Not a fan.
But if you look at their numbers side by side, Dak's numbers are they're up there with Carson's.
Yeah.
And he's not nearly the quarterback that Carson Wentz is, but he's not a bad quarterback. Everybody likes to dog him because he's from Dallas, but he may be one of the bigger winners from this deal because he's going to make a lot of money now. And, Jared Goff may get even more if he's the last one of that class to get it done.
Right. Because realistically, neither one of them have to get a deal done until next year.
Right.
Essentially.
Yeah. Or they could do the Kirk Cousins route and, kind of pay as you go every year. You franchise tag, you do the franchise tag, and then, you do you start paying year by year.
There's a siren going on outside.
I thought a bomb was going to drop.
I thought that was too. I was like, what the fuck is that?
Because in theory, they wouldn't have to pay for 2 years because you still have that other year, and then you have the franchise tag option. So the Eagles did the right thing by doing right by their quarterback and investing in him. Is there a risk? Sure. But anytime you dish out $100 million to anybody in any sport, there's a risk.
There's a risk. My thing with this contract for Carson Wentz is that I've mentioned it a few times on this show that I think the departure of Nick Foles is going to be a huge deal for Carson Wentz because that Super Bowl MVP guy isn't there anymore. The guy who brought the first trophy to the city of Philadelphia isn't there anymore. That the guy who was his backup isn't there anymore. And I feel like there was not necessarily a rivalry between them, but if you think about it, Carson Wentz was on MVP pace the year that the Eagles won the Super Bowl. Everybody knew it. He was basically clear-cut MVP that year. And the only reason he didn't win it is because he got hurt at the end of the season. And obviously the only reason he wasn't the Super Bowl MVP was because he got hurt at the end of the season. So I think that Nick Foles not being there is a huge deal for him, and I think it's going to boost his confidence a little bit. But now you have all this money thrown in there as well, and I don't see how that could be a bad thing for him moving forward. I think that his confidence is going to skyrocket. He knows he's secure. He knows that he's here. He knows that the team wants him. He knows that the city wants him. And I think that that's going to fuel him to go for another MVP caliber season this year. At least my fingers are crossed hoping that happens because he needs it.
I think that move was good for Nick and for Carson because Nick obviously gets a chance to start. He made $88 million with the Jaguars. The only thing it's not good for is the Philadelphia Eagles fans because Nate Sudfeld has struggled so far throwing against air. There's no pads on right now, but in OTAs, he hasn't looked sharp. And today's practice, the first day of mandatory minicamp, he hasn't looked sharp either. So there's going to be a big question mark while, you look around the roster and they're stacked everywhere. But if 11 happens to miss any time, can Sudfeld step in and win you a game? I don't know. I mean, he's looked good in the preseason, but, when the Bullets are live, we'll see.
Yeah. Yeah. It's going to be interesting. I hope that the Eagles pay Malcolm Jenkins his money because I think he's a desperate need for the defense of the Eagles. Not that they're not stacked and that they could do okay without him, but like I said, leader on and off the field, it's got to happen.
It has to happen.
It's got to happen. Some breaking news for us here tonight as we're recording. It was just announced that the Oakland Raiders, soon to be the Las Vegas Raiders, have been chosen for Hard Knocks. We talked about this on the show a few weeks ago. And it was between a handful of teams, the Raiders being one of them. And I think all of us chose the Raiders here, if I'm not mistaken.
Everybody except Reavy.
Who did Reavy pick?
He picked the Giants.
Ugh, why would you pick the... Oh,
He's
forgot
like,
he did that.
Daniel Jones and Eli Manning, a cool dynamic, and we were like, nah.
No. They both look identically the same, first of all. One just looks like an older version of the other one. And they're both borderline trash. Nobody knew. The guy played for Duke. I don't even know anybody else who's ever been drafted from Duke.
I can't even think of anybody off the top of my head.
That's just horrendous. The Giants are horrendous. I feel like the Giants and the Redskins are just going to be trash for the next 5 years. It's just the way. That's just the way it is. I think that the Eagles and the Cowboys are going to be close every year for the division. But I think that the Giants and the Redskins are just going to be trash for the next 5 years. Them getting rid of OBJ. See, I would probably be down with the Giants if they kept OBJ for Hard Knocks. Because then at least you have some star power. Like now, what do you have? You're just going to follow Saquon Barkley around for a few weeks?
That's not a very compelling
it's not enough.
storyline.
How about him making that Rolls-Royce Cleveland Browns Rolls-Royce travel around the country now?
Who's that? OBJ's doing that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he had it in Cleveland. He had it show up when he goes to practice. And then apparently he drove it to a club in Los Angeles. And he's not driving it from Cleveland to LA. So it got shipped one way or another. So he's shipping it around the country just to show it off.
Wow.
Got a Rolls Royce. I'm going to show it off too.
They're going to be a bust this year, the Browns. I could tell already.
You think so?
Yeah. Doing stuff like this already?
Yeah.
They did their goal last year. They won one game. They got all the Bud Light. All right. Wait, no. All right, back to my original thing. So, has Bud Light announced their bet of the year?
I don't think so.
All right, because that's the bet I'm going with. But if Eagles win the Super Bowl, Browns win a game.
All as well.
No. What's next? What's the third bet? They seem to be on a roll here.
I don't know.
Raiders make the playoffs.
Yeah. Raiders make the play. See, I think that the Raiders are a perfect choice for Hard Knocks because you've got the crazy coach. You've got would you say Derek Carr's underrated?
I'm not a Derek Carr guy. He just doesn't do anything for me. I don't think there's any one part of his game that really stands out.
I mean, I think it would be ultimately better if Marshawn Lynch was there still, but
Definitely.
he's not.
But you have Josh Jacobs, who they took in the first round.
You have Josh Jacobs. You also have Antonio Brown out there. So that's going to be interesting. And adds a certain dynamic to it for sure.
And I mentioned a couple shows ago, they got Ronald Ollie. He was on Last Chance U on Netflix.
Yes. Yep.
And, he tried out for the team. And as he was walking off the field, Mike Mayock said, hey, I like what you did. Welcome to training camp. And so I'm sure he might have a chance to be on a second, reality show.
Right.
And he's a great dude. I interviewed him, and he's got a lot of character, and he's learned so much since being on that show. And I think he'll instantly make a lot of fans if he is one of those guys featured.
I'm really curious how Antonio Brown and John Gruden are going to get along.
I don't think they will.
I don't think they will either. I think that Antonio Brown is just going to piss him off bad with his Instagram live in the locker room or just comments that he makes in the press conferences or whatever.
Dude, do you remember when Brandon Marshall went out of his mind and he was punting the ball at practice? And
yeah,
I could kind of see something like that happening. Mm-hmm. Can't you?
Especially if the cameras are rolling.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because otherwise, who cares? But yeah, because HBO is there and the NFL Films is there. Yeah. And
to top it off, and I don't like to throw this kind of praise around the NFL, but Mike Mayock is a guy I have tremendous respect for. He's a very incredibly sharp football mind. Him and Daniel Jeremiah are two guys I have a lot of respect for, but Mike Mayock is going to add an interesting dynamic in there. I had a chance to meet him. He's their first-year GM for those of you who don't know that. And I think him and Gruden, that dynamic, they're both fiery guys. And I don't necessarily know how they're going to mesh because they're both, they both want things done their way and they both think a little bit differently. So,
yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, though, they're both football guys. So they might find common ground there, but that's only if they win.
Yeah.
That's only if they win. If things continue down the same downward spiral that it was last year, I don't know.
It's going to be like a soap opera.
Yeah. CJ, you ready for some rapid fire?
Yeah, of course.
Nice sound bit.
Boxing champ Andy Ruiz Jr. meets president of Mexico.
Fucking A right. That guy's a champion. You know what I'm talking about, Kev?
Yeah, you still got a hard on for him.
Dude. Got to put some respect on him.
MLB's David Ortiz arrives at Boston Hospital with police escort.
You know what? I am not a Red Sox fan, but I like David Ortiz. I've always liked Big Papi. And I will give the Red Sox serious props for sending a plane down there and personally bringing him back and taking care of him. I think that's
was
pretty
a class
awesome story.
move.
Yeah, class move.
So this still really David Ortiz honored with moment of prayer at Red Sox game.
What do you got? What do you want to say, Kev?
Fuck them.
Wow.
I'm not a Boston fan.
You know who David Ortiz is?
Yes.
You know he just got shot recently?
It's okay.
Oh, did you see what they Did you see what they did to the guy that shot him?
No. What happened to him?
Oh, well, all right. So I'll go on with the next rapid fire question, and hopefully it's a long enough thing to give me the 10 seconds I need to switch over. John Cena, I'm thinking about WWE retirement.
I thought he was already retired. I can't believe he's not. He's doing all these movies now. He's going to be in the next, what is it? I think he's going to be in the next Fast and Furious.
He's doing the same thing that The Rock did. Every time he goes, he finds a movie, he does the movie, and every time he wants to promote his movie, he comes back and wrestles a couple matches. That's it.
Yo, they're just straight beating this guy.
Oh, they beat the shit out of the dude
that shot him.
Yeah, so they kick him in the head a couple, like the people.
Where'd you find the video?
It's on Kevin Reavy's Twitter.
No.
Dude, I didn't know he got shot. I really didn't know.
The guy comes up, and then they come out and they did it start again. They literally beat the shit out of the guy.
Wow.
He tried to rob
head.
David Ortiz.
Yeah,
and then he
David
shot him.
Ortiz said no and just got shot.
Yeah.
And because he does so much down there, until the cops came, they beat the shit out of the dude.
Wow.
How long till they take that video off the internet?
Really? Yeah, they're beating the fuck out of that guy.
How long has it been up for?
It's been up for like 24 hours so far.
Wow.
I mean, everybody loves David Ortiz. They might keep it up.
Yeah. No, I mean, it shows, and there's apparently a second person that is probably off the island at this point after they saw what was done to the other guy.
Wow. Oh, it's a crazy situation. As soon as I heard about it, I was very hopeful for his recovery. He's a great person.
So Justin Bieber, I'll whoop Tom Cruise's ass.
This has to be a PR stunt. They got to be in like a music video together or something. First of all, they look identical almost.
I don't see.
I never realized that until they had them side by side on this thing, and I'm like, Justin Bieber could play a young Tom Cruise in a movie coming up.
But
it was also incredibly random.
Really random.
I don't know. I don't think the Church of Scientology is going to accept this.
Dude, I would love to see. First of all, I just
Top
wish
Gun remake.
I wish that celebrities could just beat each other up, like have like a real celebrity death match, not death match, you know what I'm saying, but like just beat each other up.
There's celebrity boxing.
Yeah, but that shit's dumb. It's corny.
And you can't get any celebrities that are worth anything.
It's like real
Damon,
world.
they're not
All-Stars
talking about
and
you.
shit. Like I don't know. No offense to anybody who's into that stuff, but like I want to see like I don't know. Tom Cruise and Justin Bieber for
Hell
real
in a
fight.
Cell.
That shit would be dope. Right, just throwing chairs at each other.
Yeah.
Just
Get after it.
shit out of each other.
Mickey Mantle, 1957 Yankees contract hits the auction block. He only made $60,000 that year.
Mickey Mantle did? Yeah. Wow, $60,000. And you think about Carson Wentz getting $20 million a year coming up.
Oh, he'll be getting. It'll be when that new deal kicks in. It'll be $32 million a year.
Jeez.
And then after he signs something with Nike,
that might be next. Wouldn't surprise me.
Dak Scott Campbell.
Yeah.
Floyd Mayweather drops off Forbes list. Messi takes top spot.
He's off the Forbes list altogether?
He's off the list.
What is he doing?
Betting it all away.
God.
Spending it on Bugattis.
Wow. Messi, that guy is, it's crazy. Him and Ronaldo are just ridiculous.
Tiger Woods denies responsibility for man's death, wants a lawsuit thrown out.
This is the restaurant thing, right?
The bar thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
It should get thrown out. I don't think that Tiger Woods should be responsible for that.
Dana White, Brock Lesnar done in UFC. He made his decision.
Made his decision how? What did he do? He was on PEDs? Was he doing something?
Well, he had performance enhancing, and also he signed a WWE contract again, I believe.
Right. I mean, yeah, decision made. I don't know if he's a better boxer than he is UFC fighter, but I don't really care about either.
And the last one, Joey Chestnut destroys 200 donuts, still loses eating competition.
200 donuts and
Who'd
he
he
still
lose to?
lost?
Hold on, I'll go to TMZ and pull it up.
I was going to say, because if 200 didn't get it done,
I need to know how many did get it done.
yeah.
How many powdered donuts could you eat?
Oh, and they're powdered donuts too?
Like 3.
Oh my God.
I mean, you have the water right there.
I don't even think I could put down a dozen of those in a hurry. You know what I mean? I could probably put down a dozen of them, whatever, but like not
Are they munchkins?
competitively.
Yeah,
right.
what size
like the little
donut are we
guys,
talking
yeah.
about here? We talking
Yeah,
about Entenmann's?
are these the
or-
Munchables?
It's the Haas's donut. So I guess it's the smaller
The
one.
small
Okay,
little
okay.
donuts? Okay.
Yeah, I could do 20, maybe 200 of them. No bueno.
Nah.
No.
Why would you want to, anyway?
And God, even with like a glass of water, it's just like soup in your mouth. It's just like a powdered soup. That shit's
Insta
gross.
glue.
Oh God.
It's like
It gets stuck in your gums. Oh.
That shit would be horrible.
In total, the entire competition feasted on 1,160 donuts.
Oh.
The whole competition.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Brutal.
That's
And then, so it looks like the winner, Jeffrey from Oxford, Massachusetts, did 35 better for this year's belt. So he did 235 donuts.
Powdered donuts. The little guys.
I'm good.
Yeah.
Yeah, no thanks.
Yeah. Dude, he's probably farting clouds, little poof for the next like 3 weeks. Every time he farts, he's got a
Farting out
fucking,
powder.
It's like a white powder mark on his fucking
Well,
ass.
the good news is Joey still holds a record from last year's competition where he ate 257 donuts.
Oh
So
my
he did not
God.
train well.
Yeah.
He did not train well for
Yeah,
this.
he definitely fell off. Now, see,
Wow.
all right, 200 Krispy Kremes, you could probably sign me up for that. You know what I mean? Some glazed donuts,
You're
Glaze? Hell yeah.
probably
You
sign
would
me up
just
for
have
that.
a brick inside of you.
Oh yeah, you would die at least like a year.
Die
later.
at least.
There's a good chance. There's a good chance of death. Yeah.
I mean,
At the very least, you die.
that's seal off shop right there. You know, there's no pooping for days, and you'd be like those people in the old folks' home when it gets clogged up and they start pooping out their mouth.
Oh God, that happens?
That's a thing?
Holy shit, CJ! Fountain of knowledge over here. Fountain of shit.
You just open up a whole different avenue
Yeah,
here
for
us.
real.
Their rear end gets clogged, so it starts coming out the other way. Wow.
That's wild. I guess it's got to go somewhere.
And it's not just a South Park; it's an actual fact.
Wow.
South Park did an episode on, but it's an actual fact.
Wow.
You know, some people's breath does smell like that. So,
That's
you know, I mean,
Probably just backed
you might
up.
be onto something there.
Probably just a little backed up.
They're just holding it in. So I mean, you know, they only eat
Holy
enough fiber.
smokes.
Eat a lot of cheese.
Yeah. Get some oatmeal. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I mean, the gerbil went in and just died there.
Never came out. Oh my God. Where is this show gone? All right. So we're going to go to the week and then we're going to wrap this up.
Might be
Reavy Sports presents the greatest of all time. Of the week. All right, my go to the week this week is Alex Morgan. She plays for the U.S. women's soccer team. The Women's Soccer World Cup is going on right now. Today as we're recording, USA demolished Thailand 13-0. Alex Morgan scored 5 of those goals. Listen, the U.S. women's soccer team is incredible. They've been incredible for a very long time. They get paid a fraction of what the men get paid. They play on shit fields compared to what the men play on. And it's just ridiculous, especially in America where the men's national team is trash. They've been trash for a very long time. And these women continuously come out here.
They're the favorite.
They're the favorite every year. And they constantly prove why. I'm very excited. Jackie and I love watching the Women's World Cup because these girls are so good. It's crazy, 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 crazy. When we left work today, they were winning like 4-0. And when we get home, it's 10-0. And then the end of the game, it's 13-0. Like, I'm over here trying to make Facebook statuses, and I had to keep updating it because they kept scoring goals. I was watching the game for a total of like 10 minutes because obviously it's on in the afternoon because it's in France. So it's the times kind of suck for it because it's mad early. But from what I saw, I only saw Thailand get the ball out of their end once. I mean, it was just they were just all over Thailand.
I don't know. I think the women, they have Chile next. I think they're going to beat Chile.
I think they're going to beat Chile, and then they have Sweden after that.
Sweden's going to be the tough one.
Sweden's going to be the tough one in their group.
Yeah,
but I still think they're going to trash them. I saw today that the U.S. women's team scored more goals today than a bunch of teams have in their entire time being fucking teams.
So it was, from Soccer Critics, it was one of the best performance, and it got almost a perfect performance.
Yeah. Oh, it's ridiculous. Here it is. The U.S. women's national team scored more goals versus Thailand, 13, than 20 different countries have in their World Cup history. That's crazy. They scored more goals today than 20 other teams have in their entire history of competing in the World Cup. Alex Morgan and the rest of the women's national team is my go to the week this week. Co-host Kev, you have a go to the week.
I do.
Wow.
Craig Berube.
Oh.
Who's that?
That sounds like a hockey player.
St. Louis Blues coach.
Oh. 2
seasons ago, he was the Flyers coach, and they finished close to bottom of the barrel. Mid-season this season, bottom of the barrel with the St. Louis Blues. Brought them all the way up to Stanley Cup Finals contenders. And they are at Game 7 to win the Stanley Cup. That is my pick for Go to the Week.
Kev, you're just mesmerizing.
Oh, I appreciate it. Fucking jerk off.
Fantastic. Andrew, what do you got?
Well, anyone who's ever read my work or anything like that knows I have an affinity for the underdog. I got to go with my man Fred VanVleet from the Toronto Raptors. He, you saw him the other day. He got hit in the face. He's bleeding out of his looked like he was bleeding out of his eye.
His tooth was sitting on the floor.
Yeah, he lost the tooth, but he went back in the game. He played last night and he was shooting lights out. Just keeps draining threes, stepping up on the big stage of the NBA Finals, and I got a lot of respect for that.
I agree. He's definitely putting in the work, and he's out there looking like a hockey player. He does. He's got like a black eye and all that shit. I forget whose elbow it was, but they went up for a rebound and they came down and the guy didn't mean to, but he elbowed him straight in the face.
Wow.
He's laying on the ground. Yeah. He's bleeding right out of the side, lost a tooth.
Did Drake get the tooth?
He gets 6
Yeah, right.
stitches and he comes back.
Did he put it on eBay with the lint?
Yeah, with the lint from Steph Curry's hair. What a douche.
So players like that can step up in that magnitude, I have a tremendous amount of respect for.
And he's lucky he didn't get like a concussion from that, because you mentioned that he's shooting lights out, which he definitely was in Game 5. Was ridiculous. He just pretty much every shot he put up looked like it was just right in. But I'm glad for his sake anyway that that impact didn't affect his vision, his depth perception, shit like that.
It looked bad.
Yeah, it looked really bad when it happened. CJ, do you have a good of the week? No? Okay. CJ's just here. Fantastic job tonight, gentlemen. I really appreciate it. Again, happy birthday to Kevin Reavy. Hope you enjoy your time down in New Orleans. Co-host Kev, thank you so much for being here.
No problem.
And for your extensive NHL knowledge.
Yes, so much.
Andrew DeCecco,
Fuck.
thank you so much. Anything to plug for you, Andrew?
Just patreon.com/Andrew DeCecco89, DICECCO 89, and keep an eye out for my work on the Eagles Wire.
Fantastic. CJ, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
MBNnetwork.com. You can find any podcast that we do here very easily that way. Also, you can get a link to our Patreon, or you can just go to patreon.com/MBNnetwork for more details. Go check it out. We got a lot of stuff coming up. Like I said, exclusive Patreon fantasy football content, a whole bunch of different things coming up. So take a look at it. Thank you guys so much for listening. We'll see you next time.